Hi, welcome to Hayward's Maths. If there's an example you're looking for, here's the list. Check out the one you need. Hope it helps.
A bushwalker hikes north from a resting place. So heads north 1.5 kilometers. And then from the second point, after he's had a rest at the waterhole, travels 2 kilometers at a bearing, so we need to draw a compass here. This is north, at a true bearing of 315 degrees. So in the second quadrant. And that line's a little bit bigger than the first line, 2 kilometers. So north and then northwest. Find how far, so he's arrived at base camp, find how far west the base camp is from the waterhole to the nearest meter. So the first question, it wants to know this length here. Let's call it W for west. What is W? We need to figure out the angle in here, this green angle. At this angle in here, theta is 45 degrees. Alright, that's our first step. Second step, we're going to use SOHCAHTOA because we have an angle and we have a side, the hypotenuse, and we want to know what's that. Is it opposite or it's adjacent? Very good. So we're going to use CAH or cos theta adjacent over hypotenuse. We know the angle, so sub that in. So rule, substitute. The adjacent we're calling W, hypotenuse is 2. Now, if you remember your special triangles, what is cos 45 also equal to? This is what the special triangle looks like. 1, 1, square root 2. What's cos 45 also equal to? It's the adjacent over the hypotenuse. So we can substitute in, instead of cos 45, we can write 1 over square root 2. So we know cos 45 is equal to that, and we just wrote above that cos 45 is equal to W over 2. So we can rearrange for W now, so multiply both sides by 2, and we know that W is equal to 2 over square root 2 kilometers. You have to use special triangles. We don't know what cos 45 is equal to. This is a tech-free question. You're not allowed to use your calculator. You also need to multiply the top and bottom by square root 2 because mathematicians don't like surds on the bottom. So we multiply the top and bottom by square root 2. So you're left with 2 square root 2 over 2, which equals square root 2 kilometers as the west length. So let's have a go. How far north? How far north is the base camp? So this N here. Should use a different color. So we've got our triangle. What is the length N compared to that angle? What is that length N? Is it opposite, adjacent, or hypotenuse? It's opposite, yes. So this is the opposite. Sine theta. We figured out yesterday that sine theta was 45, the opposite is n, and the hypotenuse is 2. Sine 45 is equal to the opposite, which is 1 over square root 2. So we can rearrange this, so we can bring the 2 over to get n by itself. And I'm not sure if you remember, I said yesterday's mathematicians don't like surds on the bottom. So our final answer, after we rationalize the denominator, is 2 root 2 over 2, which becomes root 2 kilometers. So that was that length n there. Part C is from the initial resting place, okay? Yeah, is there any questions? So each of these 3 questions should have a sentence answer.